From the very moment Chelsea came face to face with Madison, a storm of whispers quietly swept through Fairmont Crest, drawing countless eyes, some wary, some eager, and others laced with the competitive judgment that had always been a trademark of the town where scandal simmered like a slow burn in every shared breath. In a place where secrets are buried behind polite smiles and ambiguous glances, any incident can become the next blazing topic on everyone's lips. But the first encounter between Chelsea and Madison clearly surpassed the bounds of an ordinary romantic rumor. It became a grueling test for Chelsea herself, a woman who had just emerged from a prolonged period of chaos and pain, barely beginning to find her footing, only to be thrust into the eye of a new emotional storm. The air became thick with anticipation, and every hesitant gesture or lingering gaze exchanged between the two women was magnified into something monumental, pulling the entire town into the feverish state that often marks the beginning of upheaval. Those first scenes of their encounter left an indelible impression, especially the way Chelsea's eyes shimmered with a blend of confusion, surprise, and a budding enchantment, as if all her defenses had been torn away by Madison's single confident smile. In the cramped intimacy of the small cafe, where even the slightest laugh or the sharp clink of a cup could spark a rumor, their exchange swiftly became the topic of gossip, whispered from the hair salon to the gym. Where Chelsea once kept her distance from controversy, she now stood at the epicenter of swirling predictions, cautious curiosity, and even jealousy from those who had once shared her suffering. With each passing day, the atmosphere around her grew heavier, every move scrutinized, every choice measured by hundreds of invisible eyes waiting for the next fall. To most fans of Beyond the Gates, Madison's arrival wasn't just a fresh infusion of intrigue. It marked the beginning of an entirely new chapter in Chelsea's healing journey. The woman once broken by loss and betrayal now found herself drawn into an intense connection with a mysterious doctor whose mere presence disrupted Chelsea's long-held allegiance to reason. Their first date, set under flickering candlelight and soft music, wasn't just a meeting of two lonely souls. It was a brutal test of vulnerability and faith in the possibility of something beautiful after so much darkness. That night, in moments of quiet, Madison began to reveal fragments of her past. An ache, a reason for leaving it all behind, leaving Chelsea not just captivated, but stirred by an urge to protect, to soothe, even as an unease flickered in the background. For beneath every enchanting moment lay the unsettling suspicion that miracles sometimes hide ghosts with no name. As a result, that romantic atmosphere was always tinged with unease for Chelsea, as if one careless move or resurfaced memory could shatter everything. Madison was a master of closeness, using stories of personal choice and quests for meaning to draw Chelsea in. But her eyes still held shadows, sorrow that emerged whenever family or the past was mentioned. And though Chelsea longed to cast aside reason and surrender to new love, she couldn't silence the question gnawing inside her. Was all this happening too fast? Too perfectly? The following week on Beyond the Gates escalated tension masterfully, as the writers pushed psychological stakes to their peak. For Chelsea to offer another chance meant she had to strip away every shield, gambling not just her emotions, but the dignity that once saved her from despair. Meanwhile, Madison guarded her secrets carefully, revealing only what served her, leaving Chelsea and the audience restless and suspicious. Even the smallest incidents, a mysterious text, a late-night call, a passing glance in the hospital hallway, became potential triggers, threatening to ignite long-buried doubts. The burning question for Chelsea, and the hottest topic on fan forums, was whether Madison had truly come to Fairmont Crest to start over or was simply fleeing something from her past. Whispers grew louder. Old scandals, career breakdowns, shadowy family drama from Madison's previous life, all surfacing like icebergs long submerged. The trust Chelsea had so carefully rebuilt was now under siege. Was she merely a temporary refuge for Madison? A convenient escape for someone too damaged to stay still? Or was she truly a partner in a journey toward healing? Fairmont Crest itself was slipping into a maze of paranoia and anxiety. What once were passing rumors were now sharp suspicions, especially as characters like Andre entered the fray.
Andre,
infamous for manipulating narratives to protect the Richardson family's prestige, made the situation even more perilous. Soon, anonymous emails appeared, laced with icy threats. Either Chelsea stayed away from Madison, or every secret from Madison's past would be splashed across the front pages, dragging Fairmont Crest into a scandalous spiral. The emails came from someone disturbingly well-informed, from divorce records to a hidden daughter Madison never spoke of. Chelsea was not just afraid. She was furious, realizing she had become an unwitting pawn in a powerful game between the town's most ruthless families. All the while, Madison kept their relationship in a fragile space, careful never to tread into the shadows of her past. Chelsea tried to believe this was just a wounded soul protecting herself, that everyone deserves time to open up. But the silence became louder, the evasion more deliberate. Eventually, Chelsea had to wonder, was this more than just fear of failure? Could something darker be hidden beneath the surface? The voice of Eva, her blunt, brutally realistic best friend, echoed in her mind. In Fairmont Crest, everyone has a secret, and the price of innocence is often everything. The tension reached its climax when Chelsea chose to investigate on her own. One late night, driven by questions too fierce to ignore, she followed digital breadcrumbs, scattered hints, old names, and typed Madison's name into search bars with trembling hands. And then, the truth came like a blade. Old photographs, divorce filings, the birth certificate of a young girl. All of it shredded the dream of a pure, redemptive love. Chelsea stood frozen, realizing she had walked into a story already layered with lies. So thick, so twisted, she no longer knew what was real. Before the grief could even settle, more threats poured in. The anonymous emails intensified, more detailed, more personal. This wasn't just about Madison anymore. The attacks were directed at Chelsea, her family, even her community. The horrifying possibility that everyone she loved could be pulled into a media inferno forced her to make an excruciating choice. Protect the woman she loved at all costs, or step away, sacrificing happiness for the fragile peace of those around her. It was a choice that felt like stepping into a labyrinth with no exit, where each step might lead to ruin. Beneath every decision, Chelsea wrestled with the same torment. Was silence the only way to avoid pain, or just a cruel delay? The sense of being watched, manipulated, threatened, it robbed her of sleep. But she was no stranger to rock bottom. And this time, she refused to be a passive victim of invisible power. She confronted Madison, dragging every wound, every ounce of pain and fury into the light, demanding the truth, no matter how brutal. In that moment, there was no space for soothing gestures or comforting lies. Only two women, raw and broken. Madison, knowing she could no longer hide, could only weep as her secrets spilled into the open, silently wishing someone might still stay beside her through the storm. But maybe it was too late. Or maybe there had never been room for a true beginning when the past was still etched so deeply into every breath, every choice. For longtime viewers of Beyond the Gates, the story of Chelsea and Madison reflects the complexity and moral grayness of Fairmont Crest itself. A place where trust is fragile, secrets are weapons, and anyone can become a casualty overnight. Figures like Andre, once the master of manipulation, now struggle as real feelings and scandals spiral out of control. Behind the polite smiles and quaint traditions, this town measures power by the ability to keep secrets and the courage to face them. The deeper Chelsea delves, the clearer her role becomes, not just as a lover or victim, but as a crucial player in a battle reshaping the soul of Fairmont Crest. Is her love for Madison strong enough to withstand the pressure? Or will it, too, crumble under the weight of betrayal, deceit, and the unforgiving laws of this town? The future remains a hazy picture, each day a new chapter in a war for survival. Here, the weak have no place. Only those who dare to love, to confront, to endure, will be remembered in the town's unwritten history. A place where love, betrayal, and courage are three faces of the same coin that never stop spinning. As Beyond the Gates continues to air, All eyes turned to Chelsea and Madison, hoping for a miracle or, at the very least, a just ending for two souls who have longed for love but been punished time and again for their trust and innocence. In Fairmont Crest, happiness and heartbreak, love and betrayal, never wear clear labels. Every truth, whether shouted or buried deep in memory, remains an essential piece of the larger portrait called fate.